Four news stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea viewers. Firstly, a journalist who has been forced into exile contacted me yesterday. I reported about her in a video, I think 48 hours ago. She contacted me and she shared some material with me. She wants some corrections. I reported about her reporting, which she did regarding sexual violence in Ethiopian conflict. Secondly, Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president, has released a message through state television, ERI TV. The message is about Ethiopia, TPLF, Russia, Ukraine, Western countries. What is he saying? Thirdly, we have some pictures for you from Finote Selam, a town in Gojam. I think it's in West Gojam. Large number of displaced persons are arriving in this town, and no aid is being provided to these people who are suffering. And lastly, another statement of another TDF channel. In the previous video, we talked about channel Denkel. Now we have another channel who spoke about siege, who spoke about breaking the siege, ending the siege. Firstly, viewers, Lucy Kasa is Ethiopian journalist. I think she is Tigrayan. She has done several investigative stories about human rights abuses, especially sexual violence against women, which happened in Tigray. 2 days ago, I reported about her speech at UK Parliament, where she was invited in connection with International Women's Day. Somali region politician Filson Abdullahi was also invited. Lucy Kasa delivered a speech there. And I did a video on that. I told you that her work regarding sexual violence in Ethiopia has been acknowledged. That is why she was invited there. But I said that her stories mostly covered what happened in Tigray. Now, she has shared something with me. She says that she has worked on sexual violence which happened in Amhara region too. You can see a screenshot of one of her investigative news stories. This news story was published in November last year in the Globe and Mail newspaper. And in this news story, in this investigative news story, she talked about sexual violence at the hands of Tigray fighters against women in Amhara region in Geregara village. Geregara town, and she referred to a report of Amnesty International as well. In this report, Amnesty reported about alleged rape committed by Tigray fighters of women in Nifas Micha town in August last year. So she says that she has covered sexual violence both in Amhara and Afar. That correction was much needed. Secondly, viewers, Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki has released a message through state television, ERI TV. The message is about TPLF, Ethiopia, Russia-Ukraine conflict. The crux of this message is that Eritrea stands with the truth. Eritrea is against liars. When war broke out between TPLF and Ethiopia, TPLF was lying. Ethiopia was telling the truth. That is why Eritrea stood by Ethiopia. And now, when fighting is going on in Ukraine, Russia is telling the truth. Russia is fighting for its survival. That is why Eritrea is supporting Russia. I am telling you almost quote unquote what is being said. Further, the president Isaiah speaks about Eritrea. He says that Eritrea is poor because of the conspiracies of liars of Western countries. Eritrea has been punished for speaking the truth, for supporting the truthful. So that is what Sayas Averki has said through Eri TV. Now, question of yours is that Eritrea did not acknowledge its military presence in Tigray when fighting was going on in Tigray. It started in November 2020. It took several months for international community to make Eritrea acknowledge its military presence in Tigray. Ethiopian government did the same. Eritrea was lying back then. Eritrean government, I am not talking about Eritrean people. Eritrean government led by Isaias Afwerki was lying. It was saying there was no presence of Eritrean military in Tigray. And now he says that Eritrea always stands by the truthful. Eritrea is against liars. He's justifying his support, his government support for Russia, because we know that this support is being criticized by people in and outside Eritrea. They say that Eritrea should have taken diplomatic approach. It shouldn't have been at the forefront opposing the US and the West. It's already under sanctions. But Isaias Afwerki is very much clear. He says that he's standing by the truthful. He's against liars. Thirdly, viewers, we have some picture for you from Finote Selam, which is a town in Gojam, Amhara region. You can see the picture on your screen. These pictures show IDPs, internally displaced persons who have arrived in Finote Selam. From where these IDPs arrived in Finote Selam? They have arrived reportedly from Oromia, firstly. We know that in Valaga, in Horo Godoro, displacements of Amharas are underway. And some say Oromos are being displaced as well. And secondly, some of these displaced persons have arrived from BG, Benishangal Gumas, where in Kamashi and other zones like Matakal, there have been displacements of Amharas. Though Amhara special forces are operating in BG, they entered BG. We confirm that visually. But Oromo Liberation Army and Gumas fighters, they are conducting joint operations there, and Amhara civilians are being pushed towards Amhara region. In an attack a few days ago, dozens of dam workers along with ENDF officials were killed in BG by these Gumas fighters. The problem is that these IDPs have arrived in Finote Selam, Gojam, but so far they have not been given any humanitarian assistance. That is the main problem. From wherever they are entering Gojam, is the responsibility of Amhara regional government, Ethiopian federal government, aid agencies as well. These people have lost their houses, their employment, their savings, everything. And now they have been deserted. So it's the responsibility of the government and regional and federal governments to take care of these poor displaced persons who have entered Finote Selam. Lastly, viewers, another TDF channel is speaking about breaking the siege, opening the corridors. His name is General Volde Georgius Stickle. He's called General Sherifo as well. General Sherifo. He was interviewed a few hours ago by a news channel, and he said, "We are waiting for orders from Tigray government. And once we receive the orders, we'll end the siege." So he is saying that preparations have been completed. We saw a similar statement from General Varade a few weeks ago when he addressed some new TDF recruits. Then General Dinkel also hinted that something big was coming. It means that Tigray Defense Force has done some preparations. It's waiting for a decision. It's part of decision making, by the way. Tigray Defense Force is part of decision making. It's not separate from Tigray government. Tigray Central Command has Tigray generals, TPLF leaders, Tigray president. So all Tigray influential persons, political and military, they are part of Tigray Central Command. The decision will be made jointly. So I am a bit unable to understand the statement that Tigray Defense Force is waiting for orders from Tigray government. Tigray Defense Force is part of the government because it's part of Tigray Central Command. And if a decision is made to launch a military offensive or to announce independence, the decision will definitely come under discussion at Tigray Central Command, where TDF has its presence. Let's see. Something is happening. In coming days, we could see some major developments. Thank you for watching.